Good afternoon, people. This is your man, all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, I hope you had a great weekend. As you know, I know some amazing ladies who I follow on social media. They just had a couple of birthdays. I want to say a shout out to Olympia contender Eva Montgomery, who just had a birthday this past Saturday, and also a lovely young lady I met over about a few months ago in a seminar that was held by Richard Boswell and also by Glenn Young of Amazon Fitness Magazine, and that is one Miss Michelle Polk. I forget how to say her last name because it's a little different, but I remember her. She goes by Michelle Polk. She is amateur in women's figure and also does physique. So, happy birthday to those ladies, and also happy birthday to all the other ladies who had a birthday last week and some had a birthday this week. So anyway, we have here my right-hand man, the hand of the Emperor, Gingeros,
or whatever.
Gingeros. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get it right someday. Gingeros, or we just call him Gin. And we're here. We're gonna talk about a lady who I become I'm a fan of. She's an amazing lady, a great professional bodybuilder. She's been competing for a good while, and that was one Miss Mayla Ash. Sometimes I'll say Mayla, but I think it's Mayla. Am I correct?
Mayla, yes, she's specified that several times.
Yeah, Mayla, because sometimes some people say, somebody, you got to remember, you got to take that I. You put that. Most people put that I right in the middle and put the A at the end, and then it's Mayla. Mayla. So, anyways, Mayla has been competing for quite a long time. She started like some competitors in the sport as a figure competitor, and later on she switched from figure to physique. And back in 2020, and I remember I remember one interview I had with my dear friend Miss Jada Beverly. She and Mayla were told to go up to Women's Open, and in 2020, when she made that switch, she won her first bodybuilding show at New York Pro. And that was that year when women's bodybuilding came back to New York Pro. As that's a show that's promoted by Beth Francis and her husband Steve Weinberger. And Beth Francis is the one who changed the sport of bodybuilding. She changed the sport. People didn't forget that. And back a few years ago, just like a couple of people, I was surprised when she walked quiet behind the division and stabbed in the heart. Most definitely, it hurts more because this comes from her. But anyway, Mayla is an amazing lady. I'm a fan of her. And one thing about her, she reminds me in particular of a bodybuilder I'm always a fan of coming up. One of the beautiful lady, amazing lady. And that is one Miss, Vicky Gates. And I took a picture of them and put them side by side. And if you look at them, Vicky and Mayla look somewhat similar. Just the hair is one thing, but if you look around about the face, the nose, the jawline, I think Mayla's just a little bigger than the Vicky, but they had that kind of like same, kind of like, and think about black people, if us, we were descendants of slavery, we kind of been moved around, so you never know. They might be cousins. You never know. So anyway, we're talking about Mayla. And Mayla has just qualified for the Olympia at Toronto Pro last year. And she's also going to compete at the Rising Phoenix. And why we're talking about Mayla, because she's an amazing person. My partner in crime, dropped some information about her. Now we're going to talk about this. Now Mayla she started out. She's originally from the Midwest. She's from Illinois, around Chicago, and she started out in doing track and field. She was a competitive sprinter, but an accident has forced her out of bodybuilding, and she's out of competitive sports. She even was
Correct.
almost pretty much an Olympic level runner. You know, and she had success in the sport. She did pretty good for herself. But she I think around about 2009, 2010, that's when she started getting competitive. And then she eventually gained a pro card. And like I said, this information my partner sent me because he is the hand of the king. He gives me the info. And she made her pro debut in 2014. That was at the Europa Super Show. And that show that's promoted by Betty Pariso, another lady who walked behind female bodybuilding staff in the heart. And she competed as a figure for those first few years as a pro. And then after 2017, she switched over to women's physique. And she's been a multiple time Olympic competitor. Her first Olympia was in 2017, then 2018 in physique. And Alaska competition is as a physique competitor was in 20 actually in 2020 was actually 2020 last time she competed as a physique competitor. For last time competing as a physique competitor as in Olympia was 2019. And same thing. You feel like I missed my partner, or you feel like you want to drop some information? Share the spotlight.
Um, uh, no, I think you pretty much covered that pretty well. Story prior to that. I mean, I got an article here that we can go over of an interview she did with John Romano for Muscle and Fitness. Just goes over a few things. Just want to highlight maybe the big points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you want me to just start? I guess.
Yeah, you can start.
Yeah. So John Ramiro. This is an article of Mayla Ash making her case to be the face of women's bodybuilding by muscleandfitness.com, and it was written by him. And it just kind of goes over he asked her a series of questions and then she responds. So I'll just shorten it down to the main points pretty much. So first question: what's your take on why women's bodybuilding's comeback is slower than expected? Um, uh, and and she pretty much says we can't find the solution until we find what broke it. Basically, we need to find the problem, not until we can fix it. And she talks about the coaches and training competitors in women's bodybuilding and women's physique. And she also talked about understanding the feedback of the judges. Basically, she's critical of all that, and uh,
Yeah.
and she brings up, what else?
Well, she's basically talking about how the sport should be more. There should be more interest in women's bodybuilding. It should has expand a little more. After all the years it's been around, it should be more opportunities for the women. And I feel like that's what it is. That's what she was speaking on. Because the fact is, women's bodybuilding, even though it has been around for a long time, it's not. It's. I think it's only maybe a good 20,
50.
30 years. Yeah, 20,
No,
30
it
years.
would be 50.
Well, actually, 50 years. But
Well,
yes,
I'd say 40, 50, somewhere in that range.
yeah.
Well,
I'll say like this: it's like only 20, 30 years behind with men's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
That was because men's bodybuilding been around since a good part of the late 40s, early 50s. And women's bodybuilding, like I said, has just been around since a good part of it hadn't really evolved to fully women's bodybuilding until like to the late 70s. Because when it started out, it was more like bikini. And that's the thing is, that's the thing about bodybuilding, women's bodybuilding, even though some women, you gotta remember, women's bodybuilding kind of came off from bikini, but it kind of evolved like anything else. And that's what people need to recognize about that.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so next question. He retorts, well, they tried downsizing the approach once before. The IFBB told the women to streamline and come in 20% smaller, and her response is, first saying coming in 20% smaller but not offering a reference as a competitor could use as a general guide was too ambiguous to be an effective message. And she also believed that international competition were getting mixed messages because some competed in other leagues with a similar name. The two factors are the reason I think she thinks Irish Carol lost her title in 2005. She believes that she was the only Olympian at that time to come in the same condition but slightly smaller, and then got penalized for doing what.
Yes, I remember that was the year that Young Key won, and some people felt like Irish should have been Irish, but it's just they keep changing the criteria. We talk about this on my channel, how the judges I think the judges have a lot of control. Like I said again, Mayla and Jada and also a couple other ladies were told to go up. I talked to some people say that the reason why because they want to, fill up the more bodies for women's bodybuilding because there's not that many women who are right now. You think about it, there are really no more real pure female bodybuilders, other than maybe someone like Helen Trevino, Irene Anderson, Michelle Britt, who just retired. I think Margie, she did figure, so she was not really a pure bodybuilder. And that's about it.
Yeah.
There's no real pure female bodybuilders anymore. Those women just got into bodybuilding. It's just most of the ladies either came from they did figure and they did physique, or and that's how they it's about transition. Like there's pictures of here I got of Mayla and how she used to look when she started out, and you can see how she evolved. This is her in 2012, competing as a figure. Then 6 years later, doing women's physique. And then no more than a couple years later, when she made a debut in women's bodybuilding. And you can really see the difference. Every competitor evolves and changes. No one stays the same. You can't. And I remember that whole 20% rule. It was a bullshit rule. I'll be honest with you. It just don't make no sense work. We got my man here, Marcus Bell, coming through. Salute and all the way George Page coming through, smashing that like. Thank you, Marcus. Appreciate it, brother. That's my brother from CS Combat Sports, also from the Lions Den WMMA community. Shout out to Marcus Bell. He's a moderator. I think Marcus, didn't I make you a wrench? Marcus, I gotta make you a wrench. And also, if you look at these other pictures of Mayla, she has evolved as a competitor over the years. Her looks to her. I mean, I love Mayla. I think this is a picture from her when she was at the Romanian Muscle Fest. It's a video she was at, and always don't reach higher levels. Time for it to be more better. And she took fourth at that show. It wasn't her best placing, but she really made improvements after the next show she did was Toronto. And look at her. Look at her back. Look at her back. Mayla's just massive. I think she's still a little bit smaller in the legs. I think that's one thing. She has that more tapered look that they want to see in women's bodybuilding. They also want to see a physique. But, if she can bring her legs a little more, I think she'd do better. The real question is how she's going to do in the next couple of shows. We have the Rise of Phoenix and the Olympia coming up. Like I said, she has a great physique. I just love her look. I mean, amazing body, And I think she is. I think another picture of a video of her. I think this is her. Where is that video? I know I saw it. Well, I was looking through her social media, and I saw another video here. She posted, or was that the one I showed? Yeah, I think it was that one. I thought it was another one. My guess is, but you can see how she's evolved as a competitor and as an athlete, and you gotta recognize that she put in a lot of hard work to get to this next level. This is her in New York, and she took fourth for that show. And that's pretty good. This is this is New York where she won. She won in New York, but she took fourth at the Rising Phoenix. I mean, not the Rising Phoenix, at the excuse me, at the she took fourth at the Olympia.
Yeah.
She looked pretty impressive. Look at her back. Look at the glutes. I mean, she's still a bit small in the quads, but she has an amazing back. You see the detail, how the muscles just look at the traps and the delts. Her back just look amazing. I think she did pretty good taking fourth at that show, and that was a show where she qualified for the Olympia in 2021. She, because after 2021, they changed after 2021 they changed the standings. You had to win the show, and that's why she competed. No show she took. I think she made top 10 or 11 at that Olympia of this year's Olympia. I'm trying to remember.
No, not this year's. Last year's Olympia, it was like 11th or 12th place. She went way down.
Yeah, she went way down. She looks pretty good in this one here. This is a picture from the, she looks pretty impressive. We question what happened. What caused her to go from fourth place year before, and then jumping down and falling down to, down next to below the top 10. Maybe like I said, I think she still needed to evolve a little more because you got to. She probably peaked for that show, but then after that, she maybe should have. Maybe she kind of just, I don't know. It's so many things that's going on in the sport, and you have to really find out. But anyway, I also saw her. She had an interview with Isabel Terrell, and Isabel Terrell is fit rock star. I got the pleasure to see Isabel in life. She was right. This thing is this has been about since a little bit over a month since I was Savannah. And she was right, like a little across from me, because after they finished the women's bodybuilding part, she came out. She's wearing this kind of bluish greenish, kind of like a pajama suit, and she sat like I got a picture of it. I need to take my pictures that I took of the show and put them together. And she was sitting right across from me. I don't know, maybe I didn't want to bother her, but probably just I should reach out and say hello, how you doing? I just want to say hello to you and congratulations and welcome back. But but this is an interview she did with Isabel, and she talks about herself and how she was herself as an athlete.
I'm bronze medalist in the 400. Went to college. Competed a little bit after college. Never thought about the Olympics. Actually, I did. The reality is that I thought that's what my destiny was. That I was going to be an Olympian for track and field. But I wound up breaking my femur. And then after I recovered from that, I wound up having another car accident. A Domino's pizza truck ran into my car head on and destroyed my ACL. So, my sports surgeon, he was just like, you can continue trying to run competitively and need a knee replacement before you turn 25. Wow. Or you can just retire from it. So I wound up retiring before I could actually go to the Olympic trials.
And that is something. It's sad, that story, how it was Domino's pizza. Now I'm not getting Domino's anymore. And it's just some things happen for a purpose, either good or bad. It happens. This accident got her into bodybuilding because, like I said, she said that she had to train and she started working out. And then eventually she became a bodybuilder. And this was like she had she probably had a great future as an Olympian, but this accident happened particularly for the reason. Now, folks, if you're following my channel, you can see I left Mayla's IG in the description. You can go over and follow her and check her channel. She puts up some good stuff. She's, as you know, she's a Win Strength ambassador, and she's been I think ambassador for I think the last couple of years now. She became one back in 2021, and she's been ambassador since then. She's an amazing lady. Like I said, I think she has great potential. The big question is how she's going to fare, because at the Rising thing she didn't do too well last year, and the big question how she's going to do this year. So what's your things, partner?
Well, I guess it all just depends on the competitor lineup. I mean, we got a different composition this year than what we got last year. That Hella Trevina's not competing this year, so there's that whole factor. And plus, like sometimes these things just go up and down, and um, you know, I mean, during that same competition, I think Irene Anderson took fourth, so that was her place. And then Irene Anderson later comes back this year, and she can't even, win a pro show. So these things always go up and down in weird ways, and I would not count her out. Basically, is what I'm saying is within like the top 4 or 5, because wins of strength you get points. Well, it doesn't really matter for her because she's already qualified anyway. So I guess the question is, does she make it into the top 3, the top 6, or the top
10.
Top 10? Yeah, I guess.
So you go like top. Yeah, if she can make the top 3, that'd be good for her. Top 5 would be also good, and 10 would be all great. But it's all depending. Like you say, you still have some strong contenders like most you can't forget Andrew, you can't forget Margie, you can't forget some people like Chelsea Dion, also Michelle Yao, and a couple of others. But it's just about that, how far she's gonna make it, But like I said, I think Mayla has great potential. Also, as you know, Mayla is also a coach and a posing instructor. I know I saw a video with her and Rachel Daniels, as you might know, Rachel Daniels, the real Lois Lane. They did a posing clinic about a few months back, and I think it's a way to keep yourself in the business busy, to make your money, do what you need to do. And also something about Mayla that people may not know is that Mayla used to own a snake. And this is, like I said, this is for the interview where she did with Isabel Terrell a while back, and it's wild. It's wild to find out this.
Oh, you're a personal trainer? No, I'm like individuals who are in other sports, sports performance. I help with people improving their sports performance, like soccer and volleyball, even football. But athletes who are trying to bring up body parts. And so,
I like that. Yeah.
I assess them and I was like, okay, if you're in this division, this is what they're looking for. This is what you need to work on. And
make it juicy.
I used to have a pet, albino Burmese python. Very few people know that.
So I actually saw that on Instagram.
Yes.
It was cute.
She
Nefertiti was cute. And I was going to have a snake handler come in with a python.
Oh, that would have been so awesome.
The same as what you had, because I look, I can hold a snake. I'm okay, but I'm afraid it's gonna pee on me. Do they pee on you?
No, they don't. Actually, they don't. I'm just like Nefertiti. And the picture that I that's when she was like. She was a baby.
Cute.
Yeah, she was such a baby. I got her when she was really
Did she give you
young.
little kisses?
Actually, she did. I'm just like, I used to come home from work and she would curl up in my lap and she would come around and she would lay right here.
Ah.
And so, because she loves, I'm like, they sense the vibrations. And so that's how the vibrations of the person, of your body and of your voice, that's how they recognize things. And so, she knew it was me. And so she would lay there. And so it was so, and I would talk to her and people were just like, you're kind of weird. And I was like,
you're kind of weird.
This is my baby.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm just like, I wind up having to let her go when she was about 10 feet long. Mainly because my mom was concerned because she used to sleep in the bed.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah. Interesting choice.
I'm from the country. We see snakes, we kill them. We don't keep them as pets. I remember one time I was a kid when we lived back out where I used to live at Persimmons. It's a little, it's a little road, it's a little country road, but we call it Persimmons. It was old Persimmons Road, but we call it Persimmons. And I was walking outside, and I walked in a tree. And it was like we had a couple of trees around the house, and something fell It was a snake. I ran, I got a hoe, and I chopped that sucker up. But yeah, I mean, that tells you how very eclectic, interesting woman she is. To have owned a snake, and it's just something about her. Like I said again, she reminds me a lot of Vicky Gates. Just she lives in Texas now, and that's one thing I think that made that gave that great connection to her and Vicky Gates because they both live in Texas. Vicky's from Texas originally, but Myla's from instead of getting around about Chicago. But I think she's an amazing lady, a beautiful woman. I just it's just something about her that really interested me about her. Here, my partner dropped me some information. Um, as you know, this is Myla at the last Olympia. Well, I'm gonna post the pictures in a minute, and Myla looked pretty good. I think I don't know. It's just about how the place it is. As we talked about it earlier, she took 12th, I think 12th, 11th at that show, and I think this is like kind of after coming in and then doing so well the first time out as a bodybuilder, taking fourth place, which earned her a qualification for that Olympia last year. And this is a little, this is from the NBC News Online. This is for 2021, and she looked amazing. Like I said, I like Myla. She has overall great physique, a great body. And I think, like I said, she still has. I think, like I said again, if she can bring in her legs a little more, I think by the look of it, she looked a little soft
in the legs.
Yeah, especially around the midsection too. She might have been, I think she missed a target that year, and she still looked great, but she just came in a little soft, And the thing is, it's about conditioning now. The last few years, not so much about size as it used to be in bodybuilding. It's more about conditioning. And this is from the back, and even from the back, from last year, from the 2020 Olympia, she looked really tight. But from the back, yeah, you can really see how much she's not as dense, not as striated in the glutes. The back is not as even with the front, with the rear lat spread look, it's not as the muscle's not as like popping. No, like I said, no shade on her, but she still look great. I think if she just came in, as I say, a little drier, meaning push out a little excess water, come a little drier, maybe bring in the size of her legs, she probably would do. You think she can go back to women's physique now? She's in this level of
no. There's a certain point where they just there's a certain point where competitors reach in a sport where it becomes almost impossible. I said almost, but exceptions don't make the rule, as somebody told me, where the competitors just they can't basically make a switch. Pretty much, it's very hard and difficult. Female bodybuilding seems to be like the last place a lot of competitors go after trying out the other divisions. You don't really go anywhere after that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Start off in figure or fitness, and then you move on to physique, and then finally it's like female bodybuilding is the be-all end of everything of the sports.
Yeah, I think that's like it's just where there's a point where you are at your top. You stop. You kind of like you can only hit the ceiling, but so far. This is some pictures I'm gonna show you from when she competed at the Toronto. I didn't like the lighting of that show. I know I talked to a lady who's a friend with Miss Tana Huey. She said she never liked the lighting too. It was something about that show. Just the lighting was off, and you can see she was pretty good. And I think I said the lighting's kind of off. One thing about when you do a show, you want good lighting. You want to see the muscle. You want to see the detail. You want to see how, especially when the light pops off. They put the oil on them on themselves because it really makes the muscle pop, and it just really makes it, screams at you. But this show, you can barely see. It's kind of a little dark. I know some competitors they take the pictures to be sitting too far in the back. But you got to, I think you should work on the light on this show.
Yeah.
It was just too, it wasn't the best lighting for this show. But she still looked impressive. Also, as you know, she did your Romanian show, the Romanian Muscle Fest, and I think she said she wanted to do the show because not enough competitors do shows outside of the States.
Yeah. So that's an interesting point she did bring up. Yeah, she does. She competes a lot overseas too. She's very good at promoting internationally.
Yeah, and I think she looked pretty good this show. She took 4th show. It's only maybe just the was it the few days after the Olympia, because the women's Olympia was because I think Olympia was, when was the Romanian? I think the Romanian was before the Olympia. Usually
it was before, but I think it was counted into the next year.
Because
Toronto may have been after the Olympia, but
because you can remember they pushed qualifications back this year, because last year they stopped qualifications after September or October for Olympia for Olympic qualifications, and you get your points. Or also and then any shows you do after that is points for next year. But now I think all the shows are up to November, because we got like 3 more shows left for women's bodybuilding. You have the Rise in Phoenix, you have the Romanian Muscle Fest, and you have the Europa show in Spain. And the thing is, a lot of competitors who are not this is advice I'm gonna give to competitors who were not invited to the Rising. Do the Europa show or the Romanian show, or do them both. You might have to go over to Europe if you can stack your chips good enough where you can stay over. But I think it's not that hard. I think to travel back and forth from Spain to Romania, I don't think it is. I'm not an expert on travel because but smart thing is to do is to, if you feel like this is a show that could probably get you qualification, either one of these shows can get you qualification for this year's Olympia, and you just need the points, or you just need just qualification. You should do 1 or 2 of the shows, or both of them, if you can. Because I know Sherry Priami, she still has 17 points for the she's right behind Michelle Jin. Then you have Sheena Oleg, who has 14. She is going to be doing the Rising, so she has to crack the top 6, so she can have enough points to stay in at least 3rd place.
Yeah.
And Sherry, now she's not invited to the Rising. Sherry has to do either, because you can't sit on those 17 points. Because somebody, like, you think about it, like someone like like if Sheena gets in the top 3 or top 5, she has 14. I think what's the points? It's 2nd place is 9 points for the Rising, because I think the Rising and the Arnold are 1st-tier shows.
Yeah. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
I remember.
Points.
You can go ahead and look it up while I'm talking. So, if Sheena can get in top 3, she have enough points to possibly either jump over Michelle Jin or possibly tie, or be 2nd.
Well, the Rising Phoenix, the 2nd place, the highest tier is 10, and then it goes down 1 point after that.
So all she has to do is get from 2nd you get 10, then you'll get 3rd you get 9, then from 4th you get 8, 5th is 7, and 6th is 6. All she has to do is place in the top 5, meaning between 4 and 5, to get enough points where she can possibly jump over Michelle Jin or get 2nd place, because Michelle's cleaning that show, and Michelle can get in the top. All Michelle got to do is take 7th place, and that solidified her spot because she already has 22 points. If she gets seven is fifth place. That'll give her 27 points. It's fifth, seven is seven inches. You give her 5 points and seven. So I give her 27. That'll solidify her spot. And people like, especially like somebody like Motor Persile, if she gets 10, she'll get 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sheena has to get in. She has to at least try to crack the top 5. You have enough points which will get her at least a second or third spot, or maybe first.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's it. Well, like I said, I'm a big fan of Sheena Orlick. I wish her all the best of luck. Also, other ladies. Yep.
So I just want to get back to the article because I know we strayed
Go
off
ahead.
a little bit from that. Just a few other things. In this article, she also mentions the Burmese python. She mentioned she's single. She mentioned that social media is a quote necessary evil.
It is. It is. I know my.
Calling it.
Yeah.
Being more or less, kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
She also used to work in corporate America.
Yeah. I think she was she worked in advertising or something like that, or was it
something like that?
Yeah, I believe it was. I remember she said that in an interview with Isabel. She said that was her other job, because that's good. The thing about women bodybuilding, you gotta have a job. If you're, some ladies, good men ladies do like, trainers and coaches like that. It's a way to make a little money, but you need a real job that can really sustain you. If you can find a job, or a corporate job is good. If I know some ladies who work as nurses, some work in my dear friend Miss Tina S. Williams, she works in a bar. Some ladies would do these stuff like OnlyFans, her biceps, stuff like that, musclegirls.com, musclegirlslive.com. They'll do that, but they might do that as like a little side money because they have a real job. Some would most of them would do it for is their main thing, but it's good if you can have a real job with which you have benefits. The thing, the hard part about a job is you want to do a show, you gotta take time off. If it's good, if the show's on the weekend and it's close, well, okay, I'm off Friday, I do a show on Saturday, be back on work on Monday. That's good. But then if you have a job where I gotta go all the way to Tampa, and I live in Chicago, or I live in New Jersey, I gotta take at least a day or two out because those shows, that show is like a 2 or 3 day show, and you probably want to go before it so you can get ready, get settled. Especially, I think usually they have the women's bodybuilding show the second day. They have amateurs, and I think they have the masters first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I'd say.
And a few other things in the article. I can't go over the whole article because we'll be here for literally ever.
Well, drop a couple more things and then we'll settle with that.
Yeah. I'll bring up like the most important points here. She's 5'5" and a half height. She weighed around 150 pounds last time she was on stage, so that was the Toronto 2021 December. She crossed over from physique to women's bodybuilding
in 2020.
Yeah. She's for why. There was nothing.
The story was, I remember this is what
she basically said. Just to sum up why she left, she basically said she was too big for the division.
Well, the story was that I know that Jada told me that her and Mayla did the Ultima show in Shreveport in Louisiana, and they were both approached by judges to go up. I think somebody else told me that they were told they'll go up. And Jada, she took that year to really put some size. Myla, she was no more maybe a month after that show in Shreveport that she jumped over and did the New York Pro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then she won that show, I think, and then she got her first Olympic qualification as a bodybuilder, but she already had 3 qualifications as a physique competitor.
Yeah.
And this is going to be her second time this year. I think it's 3. There's going to be a third as a bodybuilder that she 2020, 2021, and now 2022. So, she's a 6-time Olympic competitor. And I hope she does good. I mean, if she can crack the top 5, I'm crossing my fingers. She can crack the top 5. But as you well know, it's no longer qualification for the Olympia for women's bodybuilding, or for exception of men's bodybuilding. All in the division is top 3 now, and that is some bull crap. I don't know why they did that. I mean, people like Irene Anderson, who, I think I saw Irene. She did Savannah. She took 7 that show. I mean, she, and she, maybe Irene might do the Romanian. Go back to Sweden after the Rising and do Romanian. She maybe can get enough points to push her into it. But there's not enough. She has to with Romanian. You have to win that show. I think it's only 5 or 6 points or 4 points for that show. You have to win that show to qualify for the Olympia. And it's gonna be a tough lineup out there. I think Virginia Sanchez might do that show, and just possible. As I did a video last week or last Muscletalk Monday, I mentioned Jay Fuchs is returning. And if Jay comes in great condition, and if she can win that show, then Irene's out. He's out. And we may not see Irene compete in another Olympia show until maybe next year, unless she can win a show. What Irene should have done was she should have done the Portugal show. But she probably would have got all she had to do just get enough points or just win that show. But but c'est la vie. So anyway, yeah.
I guess the only other thing to mention is she's good for the sport, and she's a very attractive female. I don't know what more to say. Like, she's very good for the sport.
Hey, brother, you said enough. She's a fine ass woman. She is fine. She has beautiful eyes. She has good features about her. I think some guys might not think she's attractive, but I think she's attractive.
Each their own.
Yeah, each their own. And you can't always make everybody happy. But a woman's a woman, and no matter what it is, they are beautiful. All women are beautiful. So anyway, we have anything else to talk about, Miss Ash, or we are officially done?
I think we covered all the basics. She just wants to compete in the sport until she's able to and eventually promote the sport too. So
yeah, maybe somebody down the road. Yeah, maybe down the road she retired. Maybe she becomes a promoter. That'd be good. We can back it up. I would say this: if you are someone out there who wants to maybe in the future promote something like a show, reach out to sponsor a show. Because some of these promoters, we need some people to step up. I know there's guys who are fans of female bodybuilding who have deeper pockets than myself, way deeper, and you want to promote more female bodybuilding shows. Like recently, we just lost the Indie Pro. I think the Big Man Show got dropped. I think the Big Man Show weekend is no longer around. Reach out to people who and try to see if you can maybe sponsor a show. Reach out to Linda Murray, because Linda Murray needs to grow some more shows. I would love to have her a couple more shows, because and also because some people have so many bodybuilders in Texas. Linda should do a show in Texas. There's a lot of bodybuilders. I know I did an interview with Andrea Sauer. She said she wished there was more bodybuilding shows in California. Let's bring back some bodybuilding shows back in California. There's a lot of bodybuilders, especially female bodybuilders in California. I'd love to have a show where it be closer to them. Don't have to go clear across the country to compete. But
or Pennsylvania.
I know. don't they have no? They don't have women's bodybuilding. They have the Pittsburgh show, but they don't have women's bodybuilding. So the thing is, you need somebody who wants.
I think actually, yes, they do. It's just it was originally for masters only.
Yeah, masters. Yeah. But next year. Yeah, but next year masters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna be part of like it's gonna be part of the shows now.
Yeah, it's gonna be part of the
qualification for Olympia, but there's nothing in close to it, basically.
Maybe Philly. Maybe you can do something in Philly. My man, Money J 2023. I think is Mayla Ash should get more recognition, and that's what we're doing today. We're recognizing Miss Ash. Jay, don't see Sheila Oleg cracking the top 5. Honestly, though, yeah, I feel like it. Yeah, I think with Sheena, she's still a bit undersized for women's bodybuilder. She's still a bit undersized. I love her physique. She has a great athletic physique, but I think she's still a bit undersized. Very stiff competition. Yes, we got some heavy hitters. You got Lisa Cross coming back. You have, I think Chelsea Dion. See how how she do. You got champion Andrea Shaw. I don't think it's gonna be Andrea. You got Mona Pacelli. You also, I think, who else we got? Michelle Jane, how she looks, depending. Michaela Aycock. Those women probably would be like there was last year, because we now you don't have Hella this year. I think that the line is going to change a little bit because Hella's out. So that one person being not there is going to change it. And if the other people can come in good condition, it's all dependent. But thank you, Jay, my man Money J 2023, my brother Marcus Bell for coming through. Like I said, do we have anything else to say or anything about Miss Ash or?
No, other than just check out the article.
Yeah, check out the article
description and.
Yeah, I will. What I will do, I will leave a copy of the article in the description. I will go back to it quick, and if you want to check it out, also, as you know, her social media information is also in the description. So, in the description, I'm gonna leave it in the link so you can check it out. You can read it for yourselves. Or I might later just put it into the description later, which when I get a chance when I go through the video and check it out. But if you are a fan of Miss Ash, I said again, reach out to her, show your support. I DM a few times, but she never responds. I know she's busy. I know my dear friend Miss Terrence Williams is. She said she will. She's a good friend with Myla. Maybe I ask her. I might call in a favor. I don't know. I shouldn't. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be too beholden to a woman. You want to do it on your own. But I would, like I said, I would love to interview Miss Myla Ash. I don't know if she's on YouTube that much or social media. Miss Ash, if like I said, I know some ladies who are. If you watch this video, and if you know me very well, I'm not too pervy, creepy. But if she's interested, genuine about doing an interview, like I said, I will send this link to her. I hope she responds. I would love her to respond because, like I said, I think she is a beautiful woman, amazing body. She has a great future in sport, and maybe even after sport. Whatever she does, because what I love to recognize my sisters of melanin. I love my black sister muscles, and just Myla, just call me. Yeah, call me. I know I sound like I mean like hang by the phone like just waiting for the call.
Mm-hmm.
But we appreciate it for y'all coming through, listening, commenting, like, share, support these women in bodybuilding, support the sport, show love to these ladies who are out there, putting a lot of work and time, and just be genuine. That don't be that weird guy. I know a woman like Myla, she gets some weird shit sent to her. Don't be that weird guy. Be somebody who genuinely wants to say, Miss Ash, I'm a fan. I like you. You have great physique. You have great personality. I want to see you grow as an athlete. I want, in fact, if anything I can do to help you in your path, I genuinely want to help you without looking for nothing else than to see you, go to the next level. That's what we should do as fans. And I said again, also, if you are somebody out there who have the means and the ways to grow, like I said, try to become a sponsor. Reach out to Windsor Strength. Reach out to people like uh, Linda Murray. Reach out to people like Tim Gardner, and say, you know what, I want to sponsor a show. I want to see, just ask questions, get the information, locations, stuff like that. If you have the means and the way, and you can afford to do it, and I know there's some people out there who has deep pockets and don't mind, hey, you write it off on your taxes. Do that. The women's bodybuilding need that. We need more people to sponsor it and support it. Because you know what? It's still kind of a bit of a struggle right now. It's still like climbing up a hill, as a test. My man, see, going to see the Rising Phoenix live on stream. It's all depending how much it's going to cost. I live on a budget, It's going to be first of the month, so I probably might check it out. JM. I don't even know where to watch the live stream. Well, all you got to do is, JM, is just go on the WingStrength, .net, and they'll tell you. Just when you have that list of what shows are going on, you just click the Rising Phoenix, and they'll tell you how to get the live stream. So yeah.
And also, before the Olympia, we'll also do a stream where we go over like how people can look up the stream and where they can get the stream and the pay-per-view for it. I think that should.
We should do that. Yeah, we can talk about the live stream. We can talk about who our guests and who's going to be placing. We're just not just going to talk about the women's bodybuilding, but also we talk about women's physique. And we might even talk about the other couple of divisions that's involved women. Like I think we'll probably talk about more of the divisions that's more truly women's bodybuilding. Like I would say women's bodybuilding, women's physique, I would say figure, and those three I think are truly women's bodybuilding to me. Because if you look at the three divisions, women's bodybuilding is more like heavyweight division, women's physique is more like middleweight, and figure is more like lightweight. I see those women truly female bodybuilders. We're not talking about fitness. We're not going to talk about too much about wellness or bikini. Those are more like offshoots. They just came from bodybuilding. But anyway, so I think we're done, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about it. Like I said, folks, this is Muscletalk episode 106. Wow, we're 106. And if you look at my channel, I am just a few subscribers away from 1,000. I'm telling you, folks, it's I really appreciate y'all. And you know what? I appreciate is the genuine people who subscribe to my channel. I know YouTube though you a few subscribers, some fan subscribers, but if if you take those out and I only had 500 subscribers, I truly appreciate you because you know what? Like my man the Joker said, you complete me. So anyway, like I said, I can thank again Marcus Bell for coming through, my brother. Money J 2023. My hand of the emperor and partner, Jen.
Got everybody.
We're gonna do another show. He's gonna give we'll give him the wild out one of these days. But folks have said we like to say, my man JM, not a fan of bikini. Yeah, and I'm not too a fan of it. I'll look at it, but I'm not too a fan of it either. JM, MJ, yeah, MJ. But appreciate y'all for supporting this channel. Like I said, like, comment, share. Show support in this path that we are to recognize these women who put their hard work and time and sacrifices to make. And like I said, this is a Muscletalk 106. Thank y'all. And for you, this is Mayla George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out. What's this money?